Hello everyone, welcome back for another reading of the Hyrule Historia. And today is going to be all about Twilight Princess and their concept ideas because it's a really long part of this book, and I don't know how long Skyward Sword is. That's something I'd like to know, because that's a big Wii game too. Man. So yeah, let's get started. So it looks like there's a lot of ideas thrown around for a couple of Link's designs. Speaking of which, a variety of design sketches, including Link as a young man, a boy that brings to mind Child Link from Ocarina of Time, and an androgynous figure. You can tell that the designers went through some trial and error. So it looks like there's a lot of ideas for adult Link or Child Link, because that's a big thing in the Zelda games. Is he a kid? Is he an adult? Because it really makes the adventure different. Even though it sounds like such a small detail, it really does bring everything together, because a boy is capable of different things than a man's capable of, especially with work or school or something, you know? Wolf Link. In order to give players the impression that Link had transformed to a beast, his wolf form was designed using cartoon techniques to impart a fairy tale quality not seen in his human form. That's cool. I dig that. There's an original idea here that's really interesting. It looks kind of like Midna in a way. And if you don't know who that is, she'll definitely come up in this episode. And yeah, so here we go. There's a lot of different ideas for Link thrown around on this page here. Very different looks. We got a couple of gritty ones on it, but here's the finished product. They have his Link over here, and his a couple ideas for his Zora's suit, which is very cool on the bottom of this page. That one looks a little ridiculous with the jellyfish in his head, the one in black and white. And here's the original ideas, and here's some ideas for Wolf Link, and the final product is on the right. Or left, I don't care. I don't even know anymore. Oh, speaking of Midna, she's right here. And there's some interesting original ideas for Midna. Design sketches for Midna. There's so much variety between these images and her final design that one could claim that the only point that remains constant is the fact that she's always depicted wearing a mask. I wonder if that's a Majora's Mask thing. I don't know. But yeah, Midna is a very interesting character. She's your Navi of the game, a darker Navi, and she. Since it's already been spoiled in time, I'm gonna say it. Midna's true form is the Twilight Princess, where the game gets its game, Princess of the Twilight Realm. Midna's true form. Midna, as she appears after her true form, is restored in the end of the game. If Zelda is a Western-style princess, Midna has the air of the Middle East about her. Oh, that's a cool idea. I like that. A Western and an Eastern, because the West world and the East world, they're different, you know. And Hyrule is definitely a Western civilization. So it only makes sense that the Twilight would be an Eastern one. And it does make a lot of sense now that I think about it with the design choices they gave for Midna's true form. So why don't you check it out. Yep. Midna's true form's right here, and here's the original idea. It looks a lot like the Midna's final sketch right here. Which I'm guessing is probably what they did. They took this idea because it probably been a secondary idea, and they made her form like that. However, a lot of these are interesting ideas on this page here. There's a lot of interesting original concept ideas, but overall, I think the final product is the best because a lot of these are a little too much. I mean, like this is over the top. This one's a little too nomad-y, a little too creepy, really, for my taste. This one's pretty cool. The skull, I don't like that much, you know? But, you know, that's why they always toss and turn for which one they're going to end up with. They got one where her head looks like a squid. And it's pretty cool. Zelda. Zelda was originally depicted wearing a robe that hid her expression. The pictures from the bottom right represent the Zelda from Twilight Princess would look like if she transformed to Sheik. Oh. They were drawn for Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Yeah, and then Zelda got brown hair out of nowhere in that game. So Yeah, she was very expressionless in this game. She had a lot little less to do with Twilight Princess's story than the other ones did. But yeah, she was there. A lot of people say she wasn't there at all. She was. She was. I mean, granted, she just popped in once or twice, and her name came up once or twice, but she was involved. That's all I'm saying on that. Zant. During the early stages of the game, Zant appears as an unnerving persona encased in thick armor. When his true form is later unveiled, he gives off the strong impression of those whose cowardly ambition and madness has been exposed. The illustrations on the left is concept art for the shelter in the shape of Zant's face that appears during the battle against him. The moniker bamboo shoot style combat weapon, however, ... what that means, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, I don't know what it means. But yeah, check it out. Yep. There's the Zant's headquarters thing idea, looks like his head. There's Zant himself, there's Zelda in her cloak, there's Sheik, these are designs for Smash Bros. Brawl for the advanced Wii engine. These are when you first meet Zelda in the game. She hides herself because she's hiding because she got kidnapped by the Twilight realm, Zant. Ganondorf. Though he was banished to the Twilight Realm by the sages of the Ocarina of Time, Ganon lives again through the timeline he inhabits differs from that of the Wind Waker. He is drawn to be around the same age as Ganondorf in that game. Okay, that's interesting. Right, he was banished to Twilight in Ocarina of Time in this timeline. Ganon lives again, though the timeline he inhabits differs from that of Wind Waker. Well, okay, I see, yeah. Oh, they're just explaining that even though it's a different timeline, he pretty much has the same design as he does in Wind Waker. And he does, except he doesn't look as cartoony. Ganondorf's sword. Ganondorf's sword is the same blade that was used by the sages in his own execution. Oh, that's cool. In a flashback scene, it is seen to pierce right through him. The demonic beast Ganon. Yes, Ganon is in this game. Good. The creature Ganondorf transforms into during the fight at Hyrule Castle. The creature. Yeah. Perhaps the pig Ganon captured on this piece of concept art was a nickname given to him by the staff. Huh. Pig Ganon, yeah. Makes sense. I mean, a lot of times he is he's a beast, you know. Link gets transformed into a wolf beast, and Ganondorf gets transformed into a pig beast, or a hog, or a wildebeest, whatever you want to call it. I always thought that was interesting how the Zelda team uses animals very carefully to distinguish something. Every time you transform into an animal, or there's certain animals or tribes or species, they always pick it very carefully. And I'm sure the fact that the beast Ganon turns into is a pig, or wildebeest, and the animal Link turns into is a wolf or beast is symbolic of something, but you know, I'm not gonna worry my mind so much about that. So design sketches are very different in from final product, but I don't know. It looks like they probably just settled for the Wind Waker idea in the end, because although there are not that many design ideas, there's not as many as Midna, even though, granted, Midna's a new character. And yeah. Here's the pig Ganon, there's Ganondorf's sword, and Ganon's horse on the bottom next to it, Ganon himself. And here's some original concept ideas for Twilight Princess's Ganon. A lot of different things look like. Yeah. I don't know why I'd mess with Ganon's design from Ocarina of Time, but, you know, what are you gonna do? Light spirits. The spirits that watch over each corner of the land. In the game, they take on the form of animals, including deer and snakes. However, it seems as though the developers considered making them into humans with animal heads, which is an interesting idea. I see, that looks kind of creepy. I'll show you in a second, but that looks creepy. I'm glad they went with just the animals. Sages. The design sketches seen at the right were originally concept art for Rauru. Though his face is hidden behind a mask, his body retains vestiges of the sage. That is interesting. Ancient hero. The ghosts are the hero who teaches Link his secrets. Some theorize that the fact that he holds his sword in his left hand indicates that he's actually Link from Ocarina of Time. Yeah, that was a really cool fact when I read that in the timeline. That was such a cool fact that, well, they're hinting at it, but I want to believe that the ancient hero is Link, the hero of time, and he's teaching this new Link moves. I love that idea, and I would love if they kept that idea alive in future Zelda games. It's so amazing. So amazing. Check it out. Yeah, here's the sages. Here's the sages as animals. That is creepy looking. Ugh. Yep, and yeah, there it is. Ancient hero. He's left-handed. Right there. There's the sages and stuff. Some original concept ideas for the guy. For the ancient hero. I love that idea. I really do. Hylia. Looking carefully at these concept sketches, you can see a mark that resembles Navi, the fairy that appeared in Ocarina of Time on Hylia's brow. I'd be really curious to know what they were planning with that. I would be as well. Yeah, a couple of these sketches have a Navi mark on her forehead. That is interesting. And the fact that Link was looking for Navi Majora's Mask, I'm going to make a little personal fan theory right now and say that Hylia, and that's probably what they're hinting at, this is definitely what they're hinting at, Hylia is a human reincarnation of Navi after the Kokiri tribe no longer exists. Is it Kokiri? Whatever Link's from in Ocarina of Time, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, yeah, that's a really cool idea, and it would mean that Link finally reunited with Navi, which was a huge point in Ocarina of Time. They have some sketches for the Ordon villagers. The mayor also has some sort of nature design on his forehead. I don't know if that was in the game too. The children of Ordon Village, which actually have some elements to the story. Malu, depicted here, as a mischievous child, was popular among the development staff. As a result, he got his own in-game shop, the Malomart. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Here, check it out. Yep, there they are. All of them. All Link's friends. Doing Linky things. Yeah. Yep. Pretend you didn't hear that. Kakariko villagers. Parent and child. Renato and his daughter Luda, their appearances reminiscent of Native Americans, are well suited to the village of Kakariko, which wouldn't look out of place in a Western movie. Yeah, there was a lot of points in Twilight Princess where you can tell they were going for that Western cowboy type thing, that abandoned town, and there's Native Americans living with these guys. Barnes. There are many design sketches of Barnes, who runs the bomb shop. All of them depicted a tired old man. Yeah. Huh. Wow. I like their final design the best, though. Telma. Telma is a proprietress, I don't know what that means, of the bar, probably owner. Despite her hearty manner, she also exhibits a certain feminine sweetness. She is kind to Link and treats him as an adult, which is very good. Even though he's a young adult, he's probably around the same age as the Skyward Sword Link is, but you know how it is. Aru. Russell and his friends were called the Resistance by the developers. Of them, Aru was the character with the most concept art. It looks like they were designing a macho version of Aru as well. I'm sorry I did not show you the last page. There you go. There you go. Yeah, a lot of different ideas for Telma. And she's a pretty important character in the story. I wouldn't doubt why wouldn't they give her a lot of ideas. Anyway, back to this. Ashai, I don't remember what that is. The concept art to the right is one of Ashai's design sketches. She wears Western-style armor, but other aspects of her appearance, including her hairstyle, hint at Eastern influences. Shad, I don't know. Shad researches the Sky People. He looks scholarly in many of his design sketches. Oh, right, the guy with the... who was really stupid and couldn't realize I had the book when he kept asking for it. There you go. There it is. All those guys. We like those guys. They're the good guys. I don't want to block this guy. There we go. Impaz. Old Man Impa should be considered a male version of Impaz. If he'd been used, he would have been the series' first male Impa, which would have been really cool to see, but what are you going to do? Falby and Fire. In the concept art shown here, Fire is male, as he is in the final design. Falby, however, is female. It is unclear if they were meant to be lovers or husband and wife. So they changed that in the end. It does make sense now that I look at it, though, of Falby's design. Oh well. Giovanni. Giovanni's body was turned into gold after he made a deal with demons. In his final design, he's depicted as round and fat, but his design sketches include a slender version. Which makes sense, you know. Yeah, the final design is definitely the best design, as always. I mean, it only makes sense. Sometimes I might like an earlier sketch design better, but we'll see about that. Perlo. Perlo runs the Star game in Hyrule Castletown. He's actually designed to be a more realistic version of Tingle. And he is, and that's a good point that I never noticed before. They got a design for the Great Fairy, which is kind of creepy looking. And Uko. Uko's appearance is incredibly unique. Her design resembles the work of an artist, Amadio Modigliani. I don't know how to say that. I remember there was a fact about Uko that he got his name from his coding during his designing period. I don't know. Check it out. All our friends. These guys are our friends. Except for Impaz, he was never used. Oh, I'm sorry if I go too fast sometimes, but you know, you can always pause the video, take a look at it. Goron Tribe. Gorons first appear in the game as an enemy. Because of this, the gentleness that they had in Ocarina of Time had disappeared, replaced by severe expression. Which makes sense, I mean, after what happened to the kingdom during the dark times. Goron Elder, A's design was used for Gor Abizo, one of the 4 Goron Elders. Cool. For some reason, this concept art depicts Telma's cat riding on Darvis's shoulder. It seems that initially, the feline played a role in the story. Perhaps. Yeah, so take a look at a bunch of Gorons. Yeah. I like the Gorons. They're always one of my favorite parts of Zelda. They always have a lot of personality, and I like that. A lot of that good stuff. Zora Tribe. Battle masks. Battle masks worn by the Zora Tribe during combat. Only the battle mask at the upper left appears in the game. I am surprised that they went as far as designing a mask for use during rain prayers. I guess masks will never leave the Zelda 3D games. What are you gonna do? I mean, no, I don't hate it. Don't get that. Don't get that impression. I'm just saying, like, you gotta move on. You know, Twilight Princess. This is the only mask reference they make, so I'll forgive them there. Zora Tribe sketches. It looks as though more realistic Zora designs were among the possibilities. Their inclusion in this game would have marked a drastic departure from their look in previous titles. So yeah, it's good that they went with the older design. And what's it gonna say? Zora. Is that well? I'll remember it. Utella is a Zora queen, which is uncommon for the tribe. From the design sketches, we can assume that a Zora king was also slated to appear. Yeah, Zoras are usually, besides humans, are one of the more civilized and one of the more sophisticated species. And honestly, I find them kind of boring. In the games they appear in, I don't know. I guess it's just my fear of water in a Zelda game. Rutella's son Rallis, seeing the multiple design sketches, one might imagine that a considerable amount of thought went into the look of his necklace. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I got some Zoras. Yeah, look at them Zoras. Being all Zori. Don't got much to say right now. I'll never remember what I was going to say, but if I forget it, it's not important. Okay, we got monsters. The illustration to the right is a design for what King Bulblin would be wearing during the second battle. The original plan was to have a piece of his armor fall off every time Link struck him with his sword. In the end, however, the king used 2 shields to defend himself. Yeah, that was a pretty good battle. Monsters. When it comes to their designs, the Deku Toad and the Toad Pulley have a few things in common. This is because the Deku Toad was meant to depict what a Toad Pulley might look like 1,000 years in the future. Oh, so they're probably gonna... Yeah, that's cool. Skull Kids, I think, look really creepy in this game. And, oh yeah, I remember what I was gonna say now. This game took a, Twilight Princess had a big theme on making things more realistic, given that their last game was less realistic. I guess they wanted to balance it out. And this game wanted a very dark approach. I mean, I really didn't mind it, but I kind of feel they were trying too hard, in a way, to make it too dark. I mean, I do love Twilight Princess. It's not my favorite Zelda game at all. There's no Zelda game I hate out of the ones I've played, but yeah, what are you gonna do? Skull Kids look creepy in this game. I like it better than that, like the straw thing going on. Here, look. Look at that. Look at that Skull Kid. Creepy. Or replay. Oh, look at all these monsters. Look at all the time, consideration they put into designing. And I always like how they draw them first. That's always important, because it makes things a lot more creative. It makes things look a lot more lively than when you just design on a computer. Twilight Emissaries. The citizens of the Twilight Realm transformed into demons by Zant. As with Midna, they were designed from the mask down. Which is interesting. Imp Po. Upon defeat, Impos leave behind Pole Souls. Because you're so busy trying to catch the Poes in the game, it's not often you get a chance to take a closer look. Oh yeah, I never really did get a good look at these guys. They look creepy too. Then there's Ralphos, Araflos, whatever, another word I only seen in text. Different ideas and such, you know. So yeah, here you go. I like the different designs for the Twilight Emissaries on this page. It makes me kind of wish that they used all of them. But what are you gonna do? Here, check out the pose. Impose. How cool is that? How cool is that? This book, man, will give you things you want to know. Okay, we got some items here. The 3 kinds of swords. Zelda's bow. The weapon used by Zelda during the final battle with Ganondorf. Her arrows were created from transformed light spirits. Dominion Rod, also known as the Rod of the Heavens, it causes statues to copy Link's movements, making the rod an unusual item, and it is a very unique item to the game. Yeah. They have the Hylian shield, the wooden shield, and the Ordon wooden shield. They have Link in his Zora suit. Oh, they have the... What is that? The Hawkeye mask. That's cool. The iron boots. Looks like... Oh, they got the bow. The quivers. The spinner. Which is a very cool item. Check it out. It looks like they're only bioing the weapons that are important to the story. I mean, the Master Sword you don't have to bio. We all know what the Master Sword is, but yeah. Generally, it looks like they're gonna bio importance things and all. Concept art. The village was designed a place attuned to nature, where the villagers lived happily, strongly rooted to the earth, which I always like that concept. Shop sells lantern oil, red potion, and Ordon cow. Oh yeah, that's an annoying shop with a bird. And he thinks you're always cheap, but you never have enough rupees to pay that guy. His prices are too high. Originally, Link would howl in his beast form to startle the statues into moving. In the final version of the game, however, players must solve a puzzle. Yep, puzzles. People like puzzles. That's why they keep coming back to Zelda. Check it out. That's some fancy schmancy art there. I believe a lot of Zelda landmarks are based on real places. I can't say off the top of my head, though. That's more concept art. Secret entrance. A cat sits by a wall, perhaps an illustration of Telma's cat, Louise, showing Link the secret passage to Hyrule Castle. Cool, I didn't know about that. An initial concept sketch, the design for the rest of the Twilight Realm was based on its geometric patterns. And then we got some cool things. Twilight, an illustration depicting the daily life of citizens of the Twilight Realm. This one's stealthily stealing food from an abandoned village. Wow. People say, the game says that the people of Twilight lived pretty happily, like they had no problems, but I don't know, every time I see something in the Twilight Realm, it seems like they're so miserable, and everything just, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because I'm a light world person, I don't know. I don't know. Check it out. Bunch of stuff. Zooming in a little bit. Zooming in. This is a low budget channel, I'm sorry. I like this poster here. I'll show it again. This is a cool little... I like that they make their poster sketches. This here. I like that picture. That's very nice. Very nice. And that brings us to the end, people, of this episode, of our Twilight Princess episode. So that's cool. I always dig that. Dig that very much. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, as always. Just seeing what this is going to look like for a while. See what this is going to look like. Yeah.